Let's move on because there's a new study out of UCLA that says being lonely causes the same mortality rate as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It's a crazy statistic. Between 40 to 45% of adults over 65 say that they regularly or frequently feel alone. So why don't we talk about this more? Because we really don't highlight this. So joining us today is Professor of Geriatrics at University of California, Irvine School of Medicine, Dr. Kerry Burnight. Until you start talking about loneliness as an epidemic, much like cigarette smoking, it's not going to be addressed. I think that equivalent of 15 cigarettes a day in terms of mortality is getting everyone here thinking about, okay, who are the loved ones in my family that maybe I need to call?
Yes, not to mention our future selves. So when we think about the fact that 43% of older adults are lonely, and it's actually killing them. So we have 25% greater likelihood of dying prematurely. It's going to increase your cancer, heart disease, dementia. It's the biggest risk factor for elder abuse. So it's awful. However, it's solvable. And that's why I'm so delighted that you're talking about it.
I'm curious, do you think that it's more common nowadays? Because look, social media has taken off, and younger generations are in constant contact with everyone, whether it's virtual or in, person to person. Older generations, that's not their cup of tea. So I can see loneliness becoming more and more common over the last decade.
That's right. You're exactly right. And chronic loneliness is incredibly dangerous.
And sometimes in everyday life, we'll see an older person and they will want to talk, and we're running around, we're busy. So maybe we can just remember this particular segment, and if you have 5 or 10 minutes, talk to them, because they're lonely. They're talking to you because they're lonely. But you may be their only conversation that day.
You want to know something else I think is profound? Is that when you've lived a long life, you have something that a lot of us don't have, which is wisdom. And now we always turn to Google. Google, tell me the answer to this. I'll tell you, one of the best things you can do in this life is to talk to someone who has had more life experiences, and they may be lonely. In that conversation, you may learn something about them or about the world that you didn't otherwise know. And it's such a great opportunity to just...
Do pets help?
Yes. Pets are wonderful, and I highly recommend them, and I have a lot of patients who, they talk to their pets, and that's a great thing.
And you can also, look, if you do have an elderly parent, for instance, on the other side of the country, you can ask, right? Mom, Dad, are you lonely? Because there's a big difference between loneliness and solitude as well. Yes. And some people, look, I want some me time, but this is such an important topic. Thank you for helping raise awareness on it.
And sometimes they're hilarious. Like, have you ever had a conversation with a really funny older person? And I always say, when I turn 70, I'm going to say anything I want to anybody. And they do that, and it is hilarious.
I want to see that.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh, you just wait for it.
I have funny conversations with Drew every day.
I just hit that spot a little sooner than some.